We've had some of the worst price action the past two New York Opens, and it's very tough to try to navigate and find winning setups that you're better off on these type of days, waiting for more information, letting it break out of the range. But we were still able to find a trade on stream this morning. I want to take a look at it here, as well as all the other markups that I've done today, which, side note, if you're not doing markups, DRCs with TradeZella, or anything in general, definitely make sure you get on that so you can see what plays you're missing, where your strategy's at, and your confidence level is going to go up. But here's the trade we took this morning. Super clean. Not my typical mid-range trade, right? We could definitely notice these lower highs on top. I actually made a video pretty recently about reading structure like this. You could probably find it in its thumbnail. That it's definitely a tough buy here, as this could definitely be a next lower high and come back down. So I would never buy it on a different day, but we have this VWAP on the left side here, the 15-minute, maybe as support of that previous day's New York VWAP, that I'm just looking for some bounce off of it, especially after such a strong sell-off overnight. Right, maybe not point value wise, but just straight direction. It was all sellers. That now that we've reached that VWAP, I'd like to see some sort of bounce. And with the lack of sellers being able to push us real lower, right? Notice how there's no lower low. There are these lower highs on top, but sellers aren't showing that strength to crack us below this VWAP. Maybe we could find some bounce back with the buyers. And also notice, if you can see on the bottom here, at 10:01. So I'm playing the start of a new 15-minute candle saying, well, these last two just left wicks to the bottom. So let's play this new candle saying that we're going to bounce and continue that bounce higher closer to this overnight VWAP, right? That wasn't the full target. When we're trading like this, mid-range, we're trading level to level. So if I'm buying in the mid-range, my first exit, my whole exit, because I get out in full, is going to be at the top of the range. Could it break through and run forever and run the rest of the day? Of course. But especially on a day when we don't have full VWAP alignment like we did in today, right? We are actually trading into that overnight VWAP. So I don't love trading below that when I'm long. I'd like to be short below it. So even more so reason I'm going to get out at the open range high, because if you've seen Futures 2.0, the course I teach on ASFX TV, we haven't broken out of the open range high yet. And the first break of open range high often doesn't run very far. So why would I want to hold through it hoping that this first break is going to run very far? Wouldn't really make sense. So I got out there and you can see it comes back down. Would have maybe stopped your break even, right? If you were like, nah, I'm not going to get out, but I'll just remove risk. Well, you get a donut on the day, which is just unnecessary. Trading counter trend, you get all profits since you get in. Start of a new 15-minute candle like we were saying, and it comes back down. So let's go over the charts here and see what could you have done the rest of the day. Because like I'm saying, it's not the prettiest of price action because it's fighting the 15-minute trend, but just all of this. Actually, rather than drawing out, I tweeted it out today as well. Let's go to my Twitter here. This is what it then looked like after the trades, right? We're out of this one. We just went over. There's bounces off of this New York VWAP, right? Buyers are trying to hold those higher lows for sure, but the lack of buying momentum to the upside because that 15-minute is so bearish and not actually a bullish trend today, is probably why it ultimately just folds back under and continues the bearish structure, right? But just notice how when you're within this range, all of this, just leave it alone. You're going to get chopped up trying to either chase this to the downside or back up, or maybe that's the break to the downside, or now buyers are finally in, and you lost your account in 20 minutes. That one's going lower. It's very tough to time when it's going to move, and also which direction it's going to finally move in, right? You could definitely say both of these longs or both of these shorts could make sense, but it's very tough to time when it's going to break, so you're better off letting it break. Okay, cool, it went to the downside. There's new information. Sellers had the strength to make a new low a day. Let me just go and follow that. We're not going to chase that to the bottom. That's a strong move down. But you let it pull back. Where does it come back to? The New York VWAP, our favorite VWAP to trade off of, right? We traded off it long earlier in the day. Now trade off it short because you've gotten new information. These are now lower highs on top, in line with the 15-minute VWAPs that we just went over, and you're looking for trades back to the bottom. Now what I don't love about this, that same blue VWAP, previous days New York, potential support. We held it again, so definitely not ideal. It's still not full VWAP alignment, so it's not the best price action we've ever seen. But it still is telling you to sell it more than buy it for sure today with this new low a day. What we could also do is turn on the initial balance, which is now the first hour of the day as opposed to the first 15 minutes of the levels. And you could see, actually have it marked up. Let's save some time here. If we go to Edgefield here. So there's the break of IB low, right? Confirming, okay, sellers took control. There's the new low a day. Any longs in here because you're saying we bounce off that previous day's New York VWAP, that's going to be the floor. Now we're going to move higher. Just not statistically probable. If you look at Edgefield here, you could go to the initial balance report in the past year. If you filter it based off of the weekday, what are the odds at double breaks? Well, it's 30% on Wednesdays, which is one of the highest. But being that this is a Monday, only 11% of Mondays, 6 Mondays all year, have broken the top and the bottom. So it's really not likely that we go and break both ends of this initial balance. So I'm not going to try to predict that buyers are going to have the strength to go make a new low a day, being that we took out the bottom. So what do? You keep on looking for shorts in the direction of the first break, which is the bottom, and you catch the nice move down in the direction of structure and trends. Definitely check that out, and hopefully you didn't get induced into it, although it could be a little bit tricky, like I was saying, with that VWAP underneath you. But if you missed that one, let's go back to my DRC here. You could also take this short into that VWAP. So not amazing, but then you come in afterwards, you get another new low a day. Pull back underneath that VWAP now, break of low a day VWAP, and you go and continue the trend for one more last lower low. But if you look at the day, right, all of this, we were saying maybe long. I mean, I made money long, right? Where is it going to go? Where and when? Who the hell knows? But when you break it out to the bottom, now you can just easily look back on the day and say, oh, yeah, this thing's bullish. Lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low. It just becomes so much more clearer as the day goes on because you're getting more information. And like I'm saying, the best trades often come outside of that open range low, right? When you're exiting it to the bottom, it's ready to move again, especially this one that's well outside it. So if you could just avoid trades within this range, you could really hopefully avoid getting yourself chopped up, because those were all the really moves there were today. We look at the 15-minute one more time, just a sell-off, right? So we made money long in this 15-minute candle, playing the start of a new 15-minute bar, saying we're going to catch some bounce off of this VWAP, right? We're not definitely predicting we're going to turn back bullish. Ideally, that'd be cool. But we're just saying we're at a key VWAP. We're slowing. Buyers are in control above New York VWAP. Let's take this to the open range high. Trade the strategy, and you could probably make money with it. But if you get in long with us here on stream, and like I'm saying, you get greedy and just want to see it be bullish all day, well, it comes back and stops you at break even. You made no money. But you didn't trade the strategy. You just got in long with us, but you didn't trade the strategy. So what do you want to do? Make money or just trade on your own? Because we told you to get in at the mid-range and we all got out at the top. That's what it calls for. So I'm going to do what it calls for and put money in the bank. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you also check out all the other daily recaps that I'm doing. I have one for Friday's price action, which was just equally as bad. We could take a look at that real quick from the week prior, just at the open. Let's rewind this. And you can see, same idea. Opening range, where the hell is this going? Definitely looking more bullish. But when's it going to pop out? Who knows? Well, it tells you right there. And then you can find the easier longs into the afternoon. It becomes clear as structure starts to form outside of the opening range. So definitely try to, as best you can, even though we did it today, to trade outside of the open range high. You'll get chopped up way less, hopefully protect your capital a little bit better, and not have to take so many trades. So if you check out the streams as we took these trades live this morning, we're doing it every day. And that's also where the strategy I teach is in depth. So definitely start a free trial to that. You could use code Evan if you want 50% off your first month after that stream. But a nice start to the week. We're trying to claw back that small red week last week, just from the one day though, because last week was very break even. But still a solid month, day by day, brick by brick. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. See you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.